Toyota is firing back tonight. They are challenging a California man's claim that his Prius sped out of control along a San Diego highway last week. The automaker says Jim Sikes' runaway Prius story just doesn't add up, and Ted Rollins has been looking into this for us. He has more on this.
My car, I can't slow it down.
You can't slow it down?
Oh.
When Jim Sikes called 911, he claimed his 2008 Prius was accelerating out of control on a San Diego freeway. But Toyota now says they don't see any evidence to back up his story. Sikes said while trying to pass another car, his accelerator stuck, and despite putting all of his weight on the brake, the car would not stop. Engineers from Toyota and the government say they've looked at the car, and there is a built-in mechanism that is in perfect working order that should have stopped Jim Sikes' Prius.
We're not going to judge Mr. Sikes. The information we have from our investigation is inconsistent with the account that we've heard from the driver of the car. And any driver of a Prius.
Would you drive his car after looking at it?
I drive one every day, and I've driven it for 70,000 miles, and I would drive Mr. Sikes' car tomorrow.
To hammer through the point that they think Sikes' car is safe, Toyota called a press conference in a stadium parking lot, complete with cars, to show how the override system in the Prius works. Right now I'm doing an excess of 50 miles an hour, and I'm going to slam on the brake and see if this override system actually works. And it does come down. I kept my foot on the gas the entire time, but it killed basically killed the motor.
For more than 2 days, engineers side by side between NHTSA and Toyota went through this automobile, disassembling it, reassembling it, putting new brakes on it, and spending more than 2 hours trying to duplicate what was claimed happened without success.
According to Toyota, the data they were able to pull out of Sikes' car revealed that he used the brake in excess of 250 times during his 23-mile ordeal. Basically, they're saying the data they recovered doesn't back up his story. Sikes, however, is maintaining that his story is absolutely correct. Last week, when we interviewed him, I asked him point blank if he was lying. Here's what he said. Someone who's a bit skeptical might say, oh, that guy in California was probably going to try to sue Toyota or is just looking for attention. What's the reality?
No, there's no attention. In fact, I can't believe the number of calls we've gotten, and we're just trying not to answer the phone. I've only talked to a couple of people, not asking for money from anybody. I'm just telling the story. We don't need the fame from this.
Give us a sense of what local police are saying about this right now. Are they planning to get involved? What do you know?
No indication at this point, Cam. Well, the bottom line here is Toyota and the federal government spent the weekend analyzing this car, and they took it apart a couple times. They looked at it, and specifically they looked for a couple markers. One of them was this device that if you put the accelerator down, and that's what Sikes basically said, the accelerator was down on its own. If you put the brake on while the accelerator is down, in a Prius, the car virtually shuts down. It dies. And they said they took apart this car, and that thing's still in perfect working order. They brought us to this football stadium parking lot to actually show us a couple of these Priuses in action, and they let us drive it. And when you do drive it, this thing does really slow down. Now, Sikes is standing by his story. I talked to him as late as last Friday. I've talked to him a number of times. He says that people are coming out of the woodwork, crank calling him a liar, but he says he's standing by his story. He does have a lawyer. His lawyer issued a press release today saying that they're not going to talk about this anymore until the federal government is done with its investigation. But to your point, if a guy is lying, I mean, and we don't know that he is by any stretch of the imagination, but you would think that maybe the law enforcement would look into it so that it sends a warning to other people. Toyota today said that they have been getting hammered since this story came out, with stories across the country of people claiming that they've had acceleration problems. So what they did today by bringing the media out here was clearly to send a message and say anybody who claims something went wrong with one of their cars, they are going to look into it. They're going to analyze that car, and they're going to make sure that there is a case, if indeed there is one.
All right, Ted Rollins for us tonight with the latest on that from San Diego. Ted, thanks very much.
Hi, I'm John Pearson, owner of Toyota of Stewart. Good news. TOS has a huge selection of 2010 models not involved in the recall. I wouldn't put my family or yours in an unsafe vehicle.
John Pearson's Toyota of Stewart, 5101 South US 1 Stewart.